Welcome back to the Bed Out Workshop. This week it's an update on pretty much everything we've done the last 7 days. Coolants, throttle bodies, and intercooler, which really isn't this picture yet. So that's right, this is just an overview video of what we've done in this week basically. So we left you off last week where we'd finished our radiator. It was all installed with brackets. So this week, it's been a busy week, and not a busy week in here, sadly. This week we've managed to get all the coolant pipes run for the radiator. And that includes having a, what would you call it, radiator top and a reservoir tank, which the original GSXR system had. Now, a bit of a mix and match. I was going to use the original GSXR reservoir tank as it was, but we've replaced that space with our catch tank for the crank breather, so that space is already gone. So what we've done is we've brought out our old crankcase breather from the old bike and repurposed that to be our reservoir. Now the original GSXR cooling system had a radiator cap fixed to the top of the radiator itself, and then there was a feed line coming off that which went to a remote reservoir behind the engine. We were gonna use the similar idea. We've got a weld-on aluminium weld radiator cap, which we did actually use, could be the same make, on the previous radiator. But space was a problem. We had an intercooler at the top of it, so instead we used a remote system. I'll get this intercooler out by the way. So it's just a pipe. It's got the same idea. It's got a pressure cap and an outlet, but this one has got another feed which then can go up to the reservoir. And as I said, this reservoir has just been repurposed from an old oil breather tank. Bottom hose feeds the radiator. Top hose comes off the top of the thermostat housing as per the standard GSXR. So this side of the coolant is all good to go. It is here, so I should have said this. This is way back here because it's the only place I can put it. I did have the shock up here in the swing arm just to make sure there was clearance. I had a bigger one. In fact, let me show you. This was the original idea to have. This was a cheap one off Amazon, but just physically couldn't find the space to put it, including the back. Whereas the reservoir here, it's out of the way. It's not going to impede airflow for the oil cooler. It's high enough up where you've got the head of pressure. So that's what we went with. It should work. Should work. We'll fill it with water soon enough and we'll find out. The only difference was the coolant hose at the other side, which is just one nice long length of hose. We just bought a meter silicone hose and attached it. So coolant system is complete. Another good step forward this week was getting the intercooler finished. Well, we thought it was finished. Now, if you recall, this intercooler was from a Polaris buggy or Can-Am buggy, something like that. And it came with two nozzles there. That does not fit our needs. So we cut this off, patched up the hole, put a bend pipe on it, and linked another bend pipe round to the compressor side of the turbo. The compressor side of this turbo came welded with a pipe. They actually came through here because it was made for the original GSXR frame. Could have made it work, but it was real close to the turbo manifold, which is going to get stinking hot. So we've rerouted it around the back of the support bar and tilted the compressor turbo so it all flows nicely. Intercooler done? Apparently not, because I forgot we've got a blower valve to fit. Now in my head, this was always going to be in pipe somewhere, maybe in the back of there. But as this center pipe is supported by two rubber mounts, and I did that on purpose so it's easier to get in and out. I could have made it one piece, but getting the turbo out would have been a bastard to do that. So why not put it on the intercooler? Why not put it on the same place we just patched yesterday? So, and it is exactly the same diameter. Fuck. So we'll get a hole saw, we'll cut that out again, and we'll weld the blow-off off. I can't do that yet because I don't know where the airbox sits. There should be room. But we need to get the airbox back on before we can fit this. We can't get that on because at the moment we're drilling holes in our throttle bodies to fit bigger injectors. We knew the throttle bodies were always going to be a bit problematic, or at least there was a lot of work to get them sorted out. As an overview of the GSXR 1000 K8 throttle bodies, they come with 8 injectors. So there's a top set of injectors and a bottom set of injectors. The bottom set are your main primary injectors, and the second one works with the butterflies at the top. There's 2 sets of butterflies. There's one which is controlled with your cable, and the top set is controlled with an actuator motor. And it's to fluctuate torque in the engine at certain rev rates. So that we'll open a second set butterflies, and it'll use the secondary injectors to add more fuel with the air as it goes in. What we're doing is we are getting rid of, or we're not going to be using the bottom set injectors at all, and we're replacing the top set injectors with an oversized injector. Because these are just not going to give us enough fuel for the 300 horsepower that we're looking for. On top of that, these throttle bodies have got a lot of pipe work. So there's this 4, each body has got its own little piping which is all matched in, and I honestly don't know what this is. I have a feeling it was just a balancer pipe. There's bleed screws as well, which helps these bike idle. There's a clean air valve at the bottom of this, and there's another vent which goes into the airbox. Now, for our purposes, we're not using any of this. We're going to block up the whole lot because it's under boost. So there's a lot of, everything you see here has compressed air inside it. So any pipe work is going to have the air escaping. So we're going to block them all up, probably with a mixture of epoxy and chemical metal for the ones we don't need. We've already removed the top butterflies because we don't need them either, because we're doing away with the actuator motor. I will seal up the end of the shaft a bit better as well, because you will get some air escaping from that too. So there's a lot of work. Now the biggest issue is the injector size themselves. Now these injectors are, I don't know, they're key injectors, same make as the throttle bodies. Can't remember the flow rate, I really can't. But physically, there's a huge difference in size with the standard injectors and what we're going to use is Siemens Deca injectors, which are rated 80 pounds. I can't remember what that is in CC 560 or something like that. I'd have to look in the manual. But they're exactly the same injectors as you get as a standard fitment Ducati, size-wise, not flow rate. This is actually a yellow. It's a 998 injector. 1098 injectors are actually purple, but they're all the same size. So the physical ends are different, so they don't fit into the bodies. Now we purchased from HTP Racing a billet fuel rail. And with the billet fuel rail, your secondary injector size is bigger to accept the larger size injectors. Great. So we bought that because it also gave you an option to use Siemens Deca injectors, which is what we have. And we wired the plugs for that as well. So that's all done. When we got it, realized that that injector here is never going to fit in that small hole. It just doesn't work. So I got back in touch with HTP and said, we've got your fuel rail. How do you fit the injectors? And they said, you need to buy our Siemens Deca injectors because they're modified. Okay, well, the 4 injectors I have are now null and obsolete, damn it. Fine, I'll buy your injectors. Tell me how we can do an international money transfer, etc., because I bought this from somewhere else. And then they came back and said, well, there's another problem. The Deca injectors have been on back order for over a year. So they've been as much use as tits on a fish, to be completely honest. So it's time to sort the problem out myself. Like everything else in this bike, don't rely on anybody else, just do it. So what we're doing, worryingly, is drilling holes into our throttle bodies to accept a modified O-ring style of our injectors. That's actually a pink one, that is a 1080 injector. So that is what we're doing next. We're drilling all these throttle bodies out very, very carefully so we can accept all the larger injectors in the top rail. That way we don't have to modify these injectors either. I did try putting one on the lathe and turning one end down, it just falls apart. So God knows who does the modifications for HTP. Anyway, that's our throttle bodies. That's all the holes drilled and the O-ring sitting nice and snug within the bore. Now there is a reason I had to chamfer the corner off as well, because when you put the fuel rail on and you tighten it down, it actually squashes against the injector because it sits on the shoulder of the injector. So by just chamfering a little bit, it's now sitting on the O-rings at each side, so it's free to kind of have a little bit of movement, so it's not metal on metal. Injectors are done. Now we just got to do everything else with the throttle bodies. I knew these throttle bodies were going to be tricky, because getting the injectors to fit was only one job, because the other jobs that we had was blocking all the holes. So as we know, there's 8 sets of injectors in this, and we're going to use the original, we're going to use the original 2 injectors for the lower, 4 injectors for the lowers, just to fill a hole. It's the only reason we're going to use them, because trying to block them off and block off the fuel rails is going to be very difficult. We've also removed the upper set of butterflies, and we've also removed the shaft from it. So to remove the shaft, it means all the holes go through the throttle bodies. So we've had to drill and tap them out and plug them. Could have left the shaft in, but then it sticks out and it catches on other stuff. And if you're going to do it right, just do it properly. We've already drilled the throttle bodies once, so it doesn't do any harm to drill them again and put end caps on it. And because we were feeling a bit brave, on the bottom, you got these tiny little pipes here that sit in these ports. And there was a linked, they were all balancer tubes. I'll be honest, I can't remember if they went to a sensor or not. I really can't remember. We could have just put rubber end caps on it, but it's not really the right way to do it. So we've drilled them and tapped them. Just finishing this off now. So we've now got all the holes there filled as well. So when we have compressed air in this, sorry, that's bad. The solenoid valve for the clean air system, that's going to go back in just to plug a hole. On the bottom of that, these 2 ports here are in the same area, and it's 2 bleed ports at the bottom. I'm going to blank one of these off, and I'm going to use the other one for the blow-off valve, because the blow-off valve feed needs to be below the butterflies. So when the butterfly closes, it creates a vacuum and sucks the piston up in the blow-off valve, releasing the air from the plenum. So rather than trying to use one of these ports because they're very small, that's a nice 6mm port. We'll block one, we'll use the other, and we'll block the rest of the porting as well. And I think, oh shit, no, I'm just looking as well. I've also got these 2. So I could use a spot for choice really, isn't there? I guess I'll just put a link pipe over that. Damn. Because I've just ordered a blanking plug for that. Oh well. We'll figure it out. It's not an issue. So we're almost there with the throttle bodies. A couple more screws to do. Blanking plugs are on the way. We will then put it back together with injectors. Put it back on the back. And this is the final product. We've got the injector rail in with the decket injectors in the top, and they're not sitting metal to metal. They're not jamming on the shoulders. They are sitting on the O-rings, which is quite nice. Just waiting for, I think, the Viton 90 or 95 O-rings to come, which will fit, just to make sure we've got the right ones, because the ones I picked out of the box, I got them from an old Caterpillar workshop. Not quite sure what grade of O-rings they are, so I'm not going to take any risks. I will change the O-rings properly. But the injector rail's on. The original injectors are still there, but they're just plug-in holes. They're not going to be plugged into anything. We've got the feed for the injectors, we've got the return with the regulator, we've got the charge pipe regulator in. It's all good to go. It's all done. It looks great. One little blanking plug to go in the back. We've got the blanking plug already fitted here. So it looks, yeah, I'm very happy. They cleaned up nicely really as well, because they were filthy before we started this. But yeah, it's when he's drilling into throttle bodies. Is that really a good idea? But then once you start doing it, oh, well, we drilled 4, you may as well drill a shitload more, right? But yeah, we're getting there. There's definitely light at the end of the tunnel, for sure. So next week, we will probably start getting, I think, 2 more small jobs to do. We've got to fit the blow valve on the intercooler, get the intercooler back on. And as we're putting things on, I am actually putting them on permanently. So even all these coolant pipes, they're on properly with the proper clips. The coolant pipes are actually on with Jubilee clips as well, because we're working towards the first run. This is going to get started up. Once we get these small jobs, we attack the wiring. Other than putting fluids in this thing, it's going to run as is. It's going to run in this position. So we're slowly, it's not permanent, but buttoning everything up enough to do a bench test to make sure it runs. So as I said, yeah, the intercooler needs modified for the blow-off valve. That needs to be welded in. There's a bracket to be made, where is it, here somewhere, because we're going to fit the rectifier down here, because we're going to need that fitted for the wiring. Once that two things are done, I'm pretty sure we're ready to attack wiring. That's going to take a minute. That's going to, although the main harness is made, there's still a whole lot of small plugs and bits and pieces to put on, and then once we get it on, we've got to run power lines, got to run proper earth lines, then we're going to plug into a laptop, see how it's going to work. We need to get this beautiful ECU programmed and all the sensors calibrated, etc. Even small things like the air temperature calibration, oil temperature sensor only calibrated. There's a whole lot of stuff, little niggly things to do before we can hit that power button and see if this thing's going to make noise. But that's the next stage, because after that, once we're making noise, it gets stripped and then gets rebuilt for the last time and gets tuned and then get raced. And that's what it's all about. Happy days. There's light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, I will catch you all next week for hopefully some wiring.